Hello and welcome to the AMC News Dispatch. I'm Diana Dawa from the Office of Public and Congressional Affairs. Normally, once a soldier has completed a deployment to Iraq or Afghanistan, he or she is awarded a campaign badge honoring their service, commitment, and sacrifices in support of the global war on terror. In the past, their AMC civilian counterparts would be awarded a certificate of achievement upon completion of their deployment. The recognition for AMC civilians is now changed. A member of the AMC G1 personnel staff came up with a concept, design, policy, and plan of implementation of the AMC Civilian Campaign Pin to be awarded to those civilians once their deployment is completed. Next, we hear how this pin came about.
Jim DeLoach is a human resource specialist for the Field Support Division in AMC's Office of the Deputy Chief of Staff Personnel, G1. He came up with the idea of awarding AMC civilians a campaign pin to honor their deployment commitment to operations enduring and Iraqi freedom.
The AMC Civilian Campaign Pin was a pin that we designed last year upon the Army releasing some messages announcing the Afghanistan and Iraq campaign medal for soldiers. Our civilians in Afghanistan and in Iraq, when they were leaving, were an award ceremony with their counterparts, the soldiers, in which they were presented these medals, these campaign medals. However, there was no recognition, honorary recognition as far as medals for the civilians. And so the command came up with the idea to establish the pin to show equal recognition for the civilians that served in these two countries as their counterparts have. Now, we did ask the Army if they were going to do anything to recognize civilians in these campaigns, and they said that they do not design campaign pins. However, they were looking at the idea of establishing a global war on terrorism medal for civilians, which hasn't been approved yet. We had to go to the Army regulation for awards to civilians. We looked at the criteria in order to establish this. And what we did is we simply emulated the criteria that was awarded for the campaign medals to soldier: 30 consecutive days, 69 consecutive days in Iraq or Afghanistan in support of Operation Enduring Freedom or Iraqi freedom, and the service must have been an honorary. And we took that same criteria and used it for establishing the civilian campaign pin. I had to draft the policy for General Griffin to sign, because he was the approving authority to establish it. Once we staffed it, we also had to take and design what it would look like. We took several different pieces to assemble it. One was a map background of the Middle East, is in the center of the pin. And then we put Army Materiel Command wrapped around in a circular formation on the top, and support to the warfighter underneath, which was the command's slogan for support to these two operations. And we put in dedication of your support to Operation Enduring and Iraqi freedom, wraps around the edge in white letters. And then the AMC distinctive insignia is in the center of it. We took the printed version of it and the policy and staffed it to General Griffin for approval, and he approved it in 24 September of last year.
So far, Jim has sent out over 1,800 pins to AMC major subordinate commands. Here are his thoughts on the campaign pin.
I was pleased about it, right, because a lot of people felt that they weren't being treated equally. You present a medal to a soldier, and you have the civilian standing right next to them, watching them receive it, made them not feel as part of the team, and was supposed to be an army of one. I feel if they're side by side, they should be treated as equally as possible. I know there are some differences that you're not going to be completely equal, but the best as possible. And showing, recognition for their service, whether it's a military service member or a civilian, should be equally recognized of their contributions and dedication and loyalty and sacrifices.
Tom Mossy, a budget analyst for the Research, Development, and Engineering Command, was one of the first AMC civilians from the Fort Belvoir area to be awarded the pin.
I didn't really expect any type of award or recognition, so it was kind of unexpected. I've been a government employee and a contractor in this region for nearly 15 years now. I had never served, but I've worked a lot with a lot of active duty personnel who had served and who had gone over and in some cases came back injured. So it was a good opportunity for me to do something where the Army seemed to think that I was the guy to go over and play a part and just do my role and complete the mission and then come back. It was a very challenging trip, very rewarding, probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done professionally.
For those civilians who deployed but came back early because of injury, the pin is automatically awarded. For more information on the AMC Campaign Pin, contact your personnel representative.
That wraps up this week's edition. Thanks for watching. Join us next week for another edition of the AMC News Dispatch.